It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Could you just, I guess, define what owner financing is, and then also feel free to give an example of one of the times you've used it.
Sure, man. Yeah, so owner financing is where you basically turn the owner of the property into the bank. So since if they own a property free and clear, no loan against it, and you want to buy it, you're going to have to get a loan anyway from a bank. So you can say, hey, Mr. Owner, would you be interested in, getting monthly payments on this without having to do anything? Right. And kind of the way I structure that is I tend to ask people who own it free and clear what they plan to do with the money, right, when they sell. If they got, I got to pay this, or I got give it to my kids for this, or right. That helps you understand why they're selling for what they're selling for. But if they're like, I'm just going to sit and put in the bank, right? Those are the people where you're like, well, do you want the lump sum? Because the lump sum is going to be taxed heavily at X percent, right? You're going to pay, you can do the quick math for them, 35, 40% of their profits. That's tax man's money, right? That's capital gains. I said, or, you can't, I'll pay you, X a month, for the next, 30 years at this percent interest rate. Actually, I don't even suggest an interest rate. Pro tip, when you're talking about owner financing, ask them how much they want per month, right? If they don't know, then you can give them a number, but you say, hey, what if I made $600 payments for the next, 3 years. And then after 3 years, we can balloon and I'll pay you off, or we can extend and, we can push it out longer. Right. And you put that on a 30-year note. Right. And so if they say, yeah, $600 a month sounds great. Cool. Now you go work the numbers backwards, $600 a month over 30 years. You don't got to put an interest rate in. Right. They said they want $600 a month. So now you're paying all principal on your loan. Right. Now, some people will ask you for an interest rate, and then you can work out what interest rate that is. But a lot of the times people are just more focused on how much money am I going to get every month. And if that's all that they care about, then you don't have to pay interest. Owner financing, like I said, if they are free and clear or pretty close to free and clear, right? If they still have a little bit left on it, maybe you can pay it off with your down payment, right? If they're like, hey, I still owe 15 grand, then you can be like, okay, cool. I'll put 15 grand down. That pays off your property. And then I'll pay you $600 a month, right? Something like that. Owner finance works great for properties that are already in good enough shape that you don't have to do a major renovation on, right? Because a small bank loan, remember, the small bank's going to loan you the money to renovate the property, right? If you're doing an owner finance deal, the owner's not going to loan you the money to renovate the property. All they're going to loan you is your purchase, right? And so if it needs 20, 30 grand worth of renovation and you do an owner finance deal, then you're going to have to come out of your pocket 20, 30 grand to renovate it, right? So for me, it's better to put those ones that need renovation on a small bank loan, because interest rates are so cheap right now, and they'll loan me all the money to renovate the property. But if you find a good deal that doesn't need any work and you can just stick a tenant in it or keep whatever tenant's in there, and owner finance can be a great asset. Or if you, maybe you've got savings, maybe you've got 20, 30 grand in a bank account and you can fund that yourself, then you can do an owner finance deal as well. But if you don't have that kind of cash, then, a small bank loan would be better for a property that needs renovation.
Definitely. And a follow up to that question, how is the deal structured legally?
Yeah. So you have to have a real estate attorney draw up what's called a contract for deed. And what that basically says is, you are buying this property, right? And you will get the deed once the contract is paid in full, right? Is basically what a contract for deed is. So it still gets filed in your name, right? So you are the owner. So you get all the benefits and tax benefits of ownership. You just have to have the lawyer draw up that contract for deed. And then you have to draw up or have the lawyer draw up an amortization schedule as an attachment to that contract for deed. So you can say, here's the contract for deed. Here's what I said I was going to pay you. And then here's the amortization schedule that I'm supposed to follow, right? That way, if in the event, say you default, right, and you stop paying, then that previous owner, who is now the owner of the contract for deed, can foreclose on you and take the property back. And so that's also a good pitch point too when you're trying to pitch owner financing, is to let them know, to say, hey, I'll pay you $600 a month. You never have to deal with another toilet or tenant, nothing. You have to take no calls. Like, I'll own the property. All you do is get paid every month, right? I'm going to fix this place up and make it look nicer. So if in the event, God forbid something happens and I don't make payments, you can take this property back and you're going to get it in better shape than it's in now, right? You're going to have an improved asset that you'll take back. So.
And another question, if you could explain like your marketing techniques.
Yeah. So I use direct mail to find all my deals. I'll try to get that sunlight over there. I use direct mail to find all my deals. So marketing that's a long subject, but I'll tell you, there's a bunch of different off-market marketing strategies. And they all are going to require time or money or both, right? So I use direct mail, right? And I buy my lists of sellers, right? So you can go to I use Deal Machine. So you can go to Deal Machine. Here, I'm going to give you my Deal Machine login, Sam, or sign up so you can send that to the people. But so I use Deal Machine, and with Deal Machine, what I can do is I can go in there and I can pull a list of, homes in my area that have equity, that are vacant or that are behind on taxes, or all these different motivational tags. I can pull a list, and then right in Deal Machine, I can start sending them mail on the spot, like literally a few clicks, and I can be sending mail. And then people get mail and they call me, and then we try to work out a deal. So I buy lists and then I mail those people and then ask them, can I buy their house? Also in Deal Machine, you can do driving for dollars. That's really what it was built for. And so, as you're driving around, if you see houses that look like they're in distress, you can literally pull it up on the map, click on the house, right, and add it to your list and start sending a mail on the spot. Or you can skip trace their phone number right there while you're sitting in front of their house, and then call them and ask them if they're interested in selling. It's a really, really, really cool tool. And I've shifted my entire marketing business into Deal Machine. So let me send you that link. So direct mail is my main source of finding deals. But some people do text message campaigns. Some people do cold calls, right? There's tons of different strategies. I just tell you that research the different off-market strategies for finding off-market deals. And there's my Deal Machine link. If you click there and you go sign up for Deal Machine, believe it might give you a discount. I know there's a free trial. That's what I did. I started with the free trial and immediately saw how valuable it was going to be and upgraded instantly. This thing is powerful. So you can do direct mail. You can do, you can buy a list and then skip trace that list and get phone numbers, and then you can cold call people. You can do a text message campaign. You can, you can hop on Facebook Marketplace and see what kind of distressed properties you find. That's a gem I don't think enough people do, right? So hop on Facebook Marketplace literally every day. Like if you don't have a marketing strategy, you need to be in Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist every day. Look in not just in the real estate for sale section, but look in the real estate for rent section, right? And start looking at properties. Like look for rental ads that have terrible pictures, like, cell phone blurry pictures of the living room and bedrooms and bathrooms with no updates. And it looks terrible and tacky. Like that's money right there. Because if you don't know how to advertise your property and you've got crappy pictures, the chances of what are you finding? You're finding crappy tenants, right? That's who you're probably going to get. So you're probably tired of dealing with the headaches. Your phone number's right there because you're looking for a tenant. So call and say, hey man, I'm Henry. I'm looking to buy some property. I saw you were trying to rent it out. Would you at all be interested in selling it? And super pro tip, if you do your analysis on the front side, you will know, you can figure out like a ballpark you might want to pay for that property on the front side. So you can say, hey, I see this property. It looks like, 2-bed, 1 bath, 1,000 square foot. I'd probably be in the ballpark of, 60 to 90,000. I can't tell you an exact number without seeing it, but I think I'd probably get somewhere in that range if you'd be interested in selling it, right? Because now you're talking numbers. You're not just saying, hey, sell me your property. You're saying, hey, I'd pay about this for it, right? That changes the whole dynamic of the conversation, and you might get somebody that wants to sell you their problem property, right? So yeah, look for those terrible ads, man. Terrible ads, both in the sale and in the for rent section.
Definitely.
My business partner bought a duplex like that. Just talked to a guy the other day who bought some land like that and flipped it. Like there's money in there. You just got to hustle and find it every day. You got to stay in there.
For sure. So follow up from Jasmine. How would you describe the percentage an LLC is taxed on a fix and flip or a wholesale?
It's not necessarily, it's the taxes to the tax, whether it's an LLC or you do it in your personal name. Like, I think it's just capital gains. And I know there's a different percentage for short-term capital gains versus long-term capital gains. And the difference between those two are how long you've owned the asset. So I think you can Google that stuff. Don't quote me on any of that, but I know it's not cheap. But that's why the entity is important, because you can start writing off expenses, and all those expenses are doing is decreasing how much you're going to have to pay in your taxes at the end of the year, right? If you flip a house and you make 50 grand, but you got 70 grand in expenses, then you don't have to pay any taxes.
Definitely. So question submitted to me. So I'll make these the last couple questions just to be mindful of everybody's time. So this is a really good one, actually. Has there been any conflicts with owner financing and probate/will issues? Like, what if the owner passes away before the loan payback term ends? Is that included in the agreement? Just thinking about the average ages of some homeowners being 50 plus, like baby boomers, et cetera. Just wondering if the age of the homeowner makes a difference in that situation.
Yeah, no, I haven't run into any of those issues, but yeah, no, that's a great question. So owner finance, what that means is you're working out a payment plan for ownership of that asset with the current owner. You still have to go through the title process, right, in order to get ownership of that property, right? And so, so no matter who you're making those payments to, you still need to be making them. And if you're making them to the probate court versus the previous owner, doesn't matter. You don't want to stop paying just because the owner passes away. Who that money ends up going to will be up to the probate court and their family. But I believe you'll still make your payments, and they'll be held somewhere that they'll be able to get to. Yeah, so don't stop making your payments if they pass away, and who gets it is not, it's not for you to figure out.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button, and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.